Hello and welcome to this Tatton Park, a big car show. I forgot what it's called. Something about being really excited about speed or performance or one of those things. So I'm expecting to see all sorts of really stupidly fast cars here. Like these. Any classic car show is going to be absolutely loaded with Fords. Not usually Granadas though. This one's got its ears missing. Never seen so many Granadas in one place. What's that Mercedes doing there? Ah, it's not really a Granada club though, is it? That seems to be the theme here. It's not so much stands with individual types of cars on, but clubs, local clubs, showing off what they've got. Like Scooby-Doobaroos with the orange wheels and... oh, I do like that one actually. The old Spec B thing. I bet that's quite a quick car. I bet this one is as well. You're not allowed to touch this one. And it's got a picture of Richard Burns under the bonnet. He's going to get hot there. It's basically all sorts of stuff just scattered about all over the place. No real order to any of it. I quite like that. Actually, the first thing I spotted when I got here today was the Hedgehog of Truth. If you know the Hedgehog of Truth in the caravan, now look at this van. Maybe you can see what I mean. I've come here today with my brother and some of his friends as part of their car club. Mine looks a bit out of place. Now we see it in prime position there with a Mustang and a Focus RS. Oh, they're not going to be friends, are they? And then an Audi, and then another Focus, and then a BMW, and another Audi, and then a Mark 1 Escort. That's quite interesting actually, with its red wheels and all that. And then this BMW E30 here seems to be parked in a rather different fashion to the rest of them. Maybe it's objecting to the way this is set up. Focus RS, another Golf, another Focus RS and another Golf. And then a bunch of jolly lads in a tent as well. Oh, I thought it was a Lotus, not a Porsche. Right, from Larry cars to expensive and, well, nice cars. They are nicer, aren't they? I wonder how much that engine weighs. Apparently there's going to be a whole load of noise going on. Not sure why, just proving that these cars can actually rev and make loads of noise. If you don't like that kind of thing, skip forward 10 seconds. I won't be doing it for long, put it that way. This has to be the greenest car I've ever seen. Not the greenest, but the most uncomfortably green. That's interesting. I like that. I like this one. Is it? Although it looks a bit like a Russian version of an American car. It's exceedingly shiny and exceedingly big. Oh, it's a Chrysler. I don't know what they are without actually looking at the names on these. I reckon that's a bit over the top myself. Just waiting for that to stop before I can actually do any more filming, because you probably can't even hear what I'm saying now. For me, this Chrysler manages to combine being exceedingly good looking and totally ugly at the same time, as well as rather confused from the back. I like it. Not overly excited by this one or this one really, but oh look, we have a brace of classic minis with trailers. So making trailers out of cars the same as yours is always a thing that people do, but which one of these is the best? Well, that one is much more practical than this one, but this one just looks better. And after all, you don't have a trailer like this to be entirely practical with a car like that, do you? No, it has to conform to the looks of the rest of the car. Could have had a shorter bar in there though, possibly. I did say that I wasn't particularly interested in this car, but it is a 392 Hemi, and at least it does actually look very similar to the original Challenger from the 60s. So maybe I do like it after all. That's a very, very presentable, in fact, probably a concourse winning Lotus Cortina there. And a orange Capri with the obligatory black bonnet. More minis, and a bit confused by that one being here really. Anglias. I've always liked an Anglia, but also I've always been a bit fascinated by their rather grumpy face. I've always wondered if that particular grumpy face is indeed designed around the anglerfish face, because that's what it looks like to me. Triumph TR6s, commonly considered to be the sports car of the real man, or the real lady. Oh, that's good actually. 5, 6, 7. Fords of the side valve club again. Then Jaguars of a variety of ages and interest. Like a bit, like a bit, like a bit, like a lot, like a bit, don't really like, and like a bit. Over there's a party in the woods, and a whole load of vans that look like they should be in horror films, especially that one. And then we have the elitist of them all, Vauxhall Club. Again, some I like, some I don't. Like a lot, like a bit, like a lot, not really. Seen this one before the last time I came to Tatton Park. I think I remember that picture there. That's the bit I remember, rather than the funny blue car. You can look into this car's brain through the eyeball. Like a lot, like a bit. Quite possibly the most honest way of getting around a car show is with the like a bit formula. Triumph Stags. I'm going to spend more time not talking about Triumph Stags than what I am actually talking about them. Anyone would think I didn't like them. I don't mind them really. And then we have a field full of Blackpool Rockets. Then just here we have the Manchester RS Owners Club, which is all Fords. Opposite, as we see, the Vauxhall Club. Ford and Vauxhall are the closest I find to football hooligans of the car world, because you've got Fords there and you've got these Vauxhalls here, and it makes me consider that when it's time for kicking out there could well be a riot. Alright, no more stereotyping, I'm sorry about that. Another local group here. There's a Leg Road Man's Rover 45, which is for sale, and I shall be doing a video on that one quite soon. Then a Hillman with its extra half moon indicators. I wonder if that's the original dealer badge. Probably is. That would make sense. Belmont, Moggy, and more the same thing. This one here though, there's a story to be told about this car. A story indeed. As possibly with any car. But the story of this car will be told quite soon. There we have Matthew's car. I've driven this one, did a test drive on this car. It's very nice. Senior Mustard's Austin 1300. This has been viewed far too many times already, so let's not bother looking at it any further. Oh, look, an SV, an MG SV. That's the special supercar thing that didn't really sell very many of. But there's one here, and it's very nice and it's very red. In fact, it may even be the reddest car of the show. Here, one of my favourites, the Dolomites. Only 6 though. Surprisingly, 2 brown Dolomites and no blue one. Then we have all the rather serious looking Fords. The Zodiacs and the Zephyrs. From a time when gentlemen drove a Ford. Gentlemen, gentlemen. When Ford was a granddad car. These need their own theme tune. All of these do. What would you prefer, this or a Mondeo? MGs, Golf, more Fords. You might think that I don't like Fords, but it's not entirely true. I just don't like all of them, and I don't like the fact they're a bit overrated. Let's be honest. If they wasn't overrated, I'd like them more. But I do like this, and I do very much like this, and I do very much like the old classic Capri and this brown Mark III Cortina. I think I've seen this one before somewhere. I'm sure this was at the last show I went to. Now that is a lovely car, and so's this, the Singer Vogue. I mean, Sunbeam. Another club of major disconnection between one car and another. Some interesting stuff here though. Mark 1 Golf, or is it 2? Oh, is it 1? It's a 1. It's a 1. What about it? Right, anyway, this one's interesting just for its condition and its colour. That's a Mini, so everybody likes those. And then the RX-7 Turbo with some rather flaky paint going on at the rear quarter there. You can't go wrong with a Tuscan, or apparently a Corsa van. Looking at that intercooler there, I'm presuming that it's had something a bit special done to it. You know, we like those these days. And then of course a Renault 5. Have you? Obviously the Renault 5 GT Turbo is worth a look at, because it is, well, it's fantastic. I don't like those wheels though. What's going on with those wheels? They're not standard wheels. And then we're back to this Mark 1 Fiesta in a non-standard red. It's very non-standard, that actually. Now here we have a what looks like a Capri owners meetup. Classic 3-litre S in black. Probably the colour to have, as long as you know how to clean a car without scratching it. Also looks excellent in orange with a 3.1 in Mark II, this one. Which do we prefer though? 1, 2 or 3? Oh, Ford Cortina 2.5 litre V6 Mad Max edition. I always on the lookout for something I don't understand. What's this? What's this car here? What is it? What's it called? Oh, it's a Humber. Has a look of Bristol about it. It's the Humber Super Snipe. Does look like it's wearing a baseball cap though. There's some retro Japanese stuff here. That's all I can think to say. Oh, that's a GT4, that's the fast one. That's a 4-wheel drive, 204 brake horsepower Celica, and very fast, so I believe. Just over there we seem to have a rather lonely Gold Rover 45. Must go and say hello in a bit. In the meantime though, I'm as thirsty as a factory worker at lunchtime. So, go and find Nigel. Alright, that wasn't difficult.